Let's take a look at what we've got for today. So we take a look. Yesterday, we started reviewing naming. So you've got 3 days to basically make sure you get down the naming rules, and you can name compounds, and then you can go from the name to compounds as well. So today I'm going to go through a few review questions. If you want the answers, they are right here. So you can click the answers to that, and then you have that to work with. If you are having trouble and you want to do some review videos, here are some review videos, and they discuss polyatomic ions too if you don't quite understand what those things are. And again, here are the answers to that as well. There's 2 places to find the answers. And then if you are having somebody print out, somebody that goes to work to print out your things, you may want to download this and send that to them, because that's what we start on Monday of next week. So download the next topic on reactions. You want to probably get that downloaded and printed, or if somebody away from your home is doing that for you. Then tomorrow we have one final review that's comprehensive of everything. Here's a video of me completely working those problems out, so you can follow along and watch that. And Friday we have the actual test. So Friday there won't be any Zoom. The test is for 30 minutes only. You have 16 questions that you need to complete, 16 naming things that you need to complete. So that means if you do get extended time, you get 45 minutes, time and a half is what we offer. So without further ado, let's go through some of the problems. And if you have questions, by all means, just I'll open up the chat so that you can put it in the chat, or unmute yourself if I'm not reading the chat because I'm busy working through problems. Cool. So again, at home, you'll need a periodic table whenever you're doing this. There are basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of questions. So if we take a look here, we have aluminum iodide. So we know aluminum does not have a Roman numeral because it is in group 1A, 2A, silver, zinc, or aluminum. Iodide is I. The charge of aluminum is 3 positive by looking on our periodic table. The charge of iodine is 1 negative by looking on our periodic table. So when we see that, then we need to realize that, there we go. When we see that, we need to realize that we don't have enough negatives to cancel this out. So we need 3 of these negatives. So that's one type of problem. You have aluminum, which is group 1A, 2A, silver, zinc, or aluminum. So that always has a charge. If they give you, for example, mercury 2 iodide, if they give you the Roman numeral here, that is the charge of the mercury. We have iodide still, so we can use that -1 that we just looked up. Mercury symbol is Hg. And instead of 3 this time, we're going to need 2 of these iodides. So that's another sample problem, another type of problem where you have a Roman numeral because this is a non-monatomic or multivalent charged metal. Be the easy way. Next, let's take a look here. We are going from formula to name. So magnesium is Mg. Magnesium is in group 2A, so it does not require a Roman numeral. So all we got to do is change the ending of chlorine to chloride. Magnesium chloride. Over here, same thing, we want the name. Instead of magnesium this time, this is manganese. Manganese does require a Roman numeral, so I always make the line there so that I remember to put it. In, we need to change the ending of that to nitride. And since we need to find the Roman numeral here, we need to know the charge of nitrogen, which is -3. So it's a total of -6. if we have 3 of these manganeses, they have to reach a positive 6. So each one of these 3 must have a +2 charge. So manganese 2 nitride. If we take a look here, ammonium acetate. There's no Roman numeral because both of these have set charges. Ammonium is NH4. It has a +1 charge. Acetate, C2H3O2. Obviously, if you don't have those memorized, you got to be willing to look them up on the back of the periodic table. Acetate has a -1 charge. Done. Let's take a look here. 10,2 nitride. Nope, I don't want that one. Let's try nickel 3 sulfate. This time the nickel has a charge of +3. Sulfate, if we don't know it, we've got to look it up on the back of the periodic table. SO4 with a -2 charge. So now I've got to balance out 2 and 3. Well, the least common multiple of that is 6. That means there's going to be 2 nickels. 6 times 2 is 3 sulfates. I cannot write it like this though. I must put parentheses around there. Otherwise, it's going to look like I have 43 oxygens by now. The last type of, actually, we can do one of these real quick. Iron is Fe. SO4 we just got taken care of, that is sulfate. Sulfate is a -2 charge. Iron is not in group 1A, 2A, silver, zinc, or aluminum, so it requires a Roman numeral. 2 times 3 is 6. So with that, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that would be iron 3 sulfate. The last type of thing only comes into play once you get to like page 5, because I think it's one of the easier things. And that is whenever the first element is not a metal. Here we have the non-metal selenium. So it's not a metal. So we don't worry about charges at all. Selenium. There's only one of them. So we don't put monoselenium. This is where we use the prefixes. We have 3 oxygens though, so we do put trioxide. Selenium trioxide. Remember, you can only use this when the first element is not a metal. If the first element is a metal, you can't do that. So here, SN is 10. We would have to deal with charges. Then when you're looking at all these names, it's very easy to find the ones with prefixes. Here we have disulfide, tricarbon disulfide, tellurium tetraiodide. Tricarbon means there's 3 carbons. Disulfide means there are 2 sulfurs. Any questions about any of these problems? Any questions about problems on these pages that you worked on that you weren't able to answer? No. Then keep in mind you do have all of the answers to these, and there are some movies here if you're having trouble. And obviously you can go back to the note movies where I show you how to name or write the compound for each type if you're still having trouble with that. Otherwise, if you have questions, by all means, stay on the Zoom. Other than that, you're more than welcome to go work on that stuff.